everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a simple 30-minute gentle flow. So we're going to start in an easy seated position, something comfortable, and we're going to bring our focus to our breathing. Be sure to take large inhales, deep, full belly breaths. Now we're going to bring the chin to the chest, and we're going to rotate our neck by moving our head in very large circles. We're going to start one way. Now we're going to rotate to the other side. Make sure that they're slow movements, really working out the kinks of the neck. Then we're going to drop our left ear to our left shoulder, and we're going to put our hand on our head. We're not pulling, just holding. And we're going to take deep breaths. Now we're going to drop that hand and bring our right ear to our right shoulder and do the same. Hand to the side of the head. And we're going to release, come back to neutral. We're going to nod our head a couple times, keeping in mind to keep it slow. And then a couple times no, side to side. Now we're going to bring our hands out beside us, and pressing into that right hand, we're going to bring our left hand over our head, getting a nice side stretch. And then we're going to come back to neutral. And we're going to press into that left hand and bring the right over our head. Same thing, getting a nice stretch on the other side. And we're going to come back to neutral. And then we're going to do a couple circles with our shoulders, just opening up the chest, moving it forward and then back a few times. Okay, now we're going to come into a tabletop position. Our knees are right below our hips, and our hands are right below our shoulders, having a nice neutral spine, keeping the back straight. And we're going to do a couple cat-cows. On a very large inhale, we're going to drop the belly and raise the head, getting a nice arch in the back. And then on the exhale, we're going to round the spine, bringing our chin to our chest. And inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And on another exhale, we're going to round the spine. We're going to do this a couple times. And we're going to tuck the toes, and then we're going to come into downward facing dog. Make sure to send the hips back, keeping the spine straight. And then here you can pedal out the feet, get a nice stretch in the back of the legs, or you can just stay in stillness. We're going to hold this position for a few deep breaths. I just want to apologize if my instructions aren't the clearest. This is my first time doing a voiceover, and it's all a learning process. Okay, and coming from downward dog, we are going to move into plank position. And then we're going to, on an exhale, lower into chaturanga. Then on an inhale, we're going to move into upward facing dog. And then on an exhale, we are going to move back into downward facing dog. Next inhale, we're going to go back into plank position. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then on the next exhale, back to downward facing dog. We're going to do this 2 more times. So inhale, plank, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. And again, inhale, plank, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so from here we're going to lift our right leg up and step through, bringing your foot between your hands into low lunge. Make sure that you are pressing your thighs towards each other, almost like you are straddling the invisible line. Now we're going to tuck the back toes, coming up into a high lunge. You can lift your arms over your head if you can find the balance. If not, it's okay. You can keep your hands on your knee. Then we're going to transition into Warrior 2. So you're going to turn your back foot parallel to the back of the mat, keeping your arms extended to your sides. Now we're going to shift to the left, bringing the right arm overhead, stretching the right side body. Then we're going to move to the right, bringing the left arm over our head, extending the left side, going from Peaceful Warrior to extended right side angle in a flow of inhale, exhale movements. So inhale, Peaceful Warrior, exhale, extended side angle. You can peek at me if you need clarification. And then we're going to cartwheel our hands forward and step that foot back so that we are back into downward facing dog. Now on the next inhale, we're going to go into plank. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to do this 3 more times. Just remember, it's movement on each breath. And feel free to take it at your own pace. Now that we're back into downward facing dog, we are going to lift the left leg straight up, making sure the hips are squared, and we're going to step through. Same thing as we did on the right side. Come into low lunge. Remember to press your thighs towards each other, kind of straddling that invisible midline. Okay, now we're going to tuck our back toes and come up into high lunge. And if you feel like it, you can bring your arms above your head or keep them resting on your front knee. Okay, now we're going to transition into Warrior 2, making sure your back foot is parallel to the back of the mat and toes are pointing out to the side. And we're going to keep our arms extended to each side of our bodies, making sure to keep them as level as we can. Then we're going to transition into Peaceful Warrior and then into extended side angle for that little flow. Remember to move slowly, moving on each breath. Inhale on Peaceful Warrior, exhale on extended side angle. And last one. Back into Warrior 2 and then cartwheel our hands forward. Step that left foot back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog into plank, into chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We're going to do this flow a total of 4 times. When we meet back in downward facing dog, we can pedal out our feet here, or you can find stillness. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. Remember to keep your hips back and your spine straight. Alright, now we are going to bring the knees to the mat in a wide-legged seat. And we're going to walk the hands forward for a wide-legged child's pose. We're going to rest here for a few moments. Make sure to keep breathing. Deep, relaxing inhales. You can exhale through the mouth. Make a sound if you need to, letting all that tension go. Okay, now we're going to come into tabletop position once more. And we're going to bring our right knee to our right hand, and our right foot will come as close as you can bring it to your left hand. And then we're going to bring our forearms to the mat. This is going to bring us to resting pigeon or sleeping pigeon. So the left leg is extended behind us, and we're pressing into the top of our left foot. And if you can bring your right shin parallel to the front of the mat, that's great, but if not, you can have your right foot closer to your hip if that is more comfortable. Make sure that your hips stay squared, that one side isn't further back than the other. If it's more comfortable for you, you can bring your forehead completely to the mat, getting more of a stretch. But if not, resting on your forearms is totally okay. And if you really need to, you can even stay in a upright position. And we're just going to rest here for a little while. Make sure that you are keeping in tune with your breath. It's all about the breathing. All right, now we're going to come back up, press into the palms of your hands, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to bring our left knee to our left hand and our left foot to our right hand. If you can be parallel to the mat, that's great. If not, you can keep your foot a little closer to the hip. Make sure that your right leg is extended fully back behind you, pressing into the tops of your right foot. And then again, if you want to stay in an upright position, that's okay. If you want to lean forward onto your forearms, or if you want to go all the way down and bring your forehead to the mat, whatever's most comfortable for you. And we're just going to rest here for a moment. All right, and on the next breath, we're going to come back up into an upright position. Pressing into our hands, we're going to bring our left leg back to our right. And in down dog, if you want to stretch out the legs a little bit, you can. Now we're going to bring our knees to the mat, and in slow movements, in however way it's comfortable for you, come into a seated position with your legs extended forward. We're just going to take a quick moment to rest. I chose to rotate my ankles and kind of give my back a little bit of a stretch, an additional stretch. Now we're going to bend at the left knee and bring our foot over our right knee. And then we're going to twist to the left, looking over the left shoulder. You can peek at me if you need to. We're going to get a nice spinal twist here. Now releasing that left leg back to the ground, we're going to do it on the right, bringing our right foot to the outside of our left knee, and we're going to twist towards the right, looking over the right shoulder. Now we're coming into cow face pose. We're going to keep our right leg pressed to the mat, bending at the knee, bringing our foot to our hip. And then we're going to lay our left leg over the right in the same manner. Your left knee should be directly above your right knee, tucking your feet into your sides. Again, you can look at me if you need to. And we're going to walk our hands forward, getting a nice stretch. If this is too much for you, you can stay sitting upright, or you don't have to walk your hands out too far. Okay, now we're back into neutral. And we're going to switch legs. So left leg on the bottom, right leg on top. Knees are directly stacked. We're just going to take a couple breaths. Now we're going to walk our hands forward just as we did before. Now we're going to release our legs and move into a lying position. Once there, we're going to bring our knees into our chest. We're going to kind of give ourselves a little hug. Now we're going to release our head back to the mat. We're going to kind of rock from side to side, give our spines a little bit of a massage. Just gentle rocking. Now we're going to release completely onto the mat, coming into a very comfortable lying position. And we're going to relax our legs, our feet, coming into our final pose, Shavasana. And you're going to close your eyes. Again, keep focus on the breath. We're just going to surrender to the moment. Something to keep in mind as we lie here. Wherever you are in your yoga journey, embrace that. Be grateful. It's not about how flexible or how strong you are. It's just a matter of what you're able to do, what feels good inside your body. It's all a learning process. Feel free to lie in Shavasana for as long as you'd like, but whenever you're ready, start to wiggle your hands and your feet. bringing some awareness back to the body. And then we're going to slowly roll over to one side and, taking our time, come up into a seated position. Our head, the last thing to come up. On a deep inhale, we're going to sweep our arms upward, bringing our palms together. And then we're going to bring our hands to our heart center, thanking ourselves for our practice today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that I was able to bring you a little bit of peace. And I hope to see you again. Namaste.